Hello everyone and welcome to the Transit Nomad family. This video is my Sofia transit system review with public transport riding footage. I'm currently in Sofia, Bulgaria in 2025. We just got off one bus, number 27. We're gonna change to another trolley bus in a moment. Before we get started, I'd like to let you know that as an active traveler and business owner with experience, I might be able to assist you with trip planning, life coaching, and business consulting, with all the details available at buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad or through the link in the video description below. This is where you can also find lots of exclusive content on many different cities around the world, my secret tips, PDF guides, and the option to request a custom video on any topic that matters to you. With that being said, let's begin discussing Sofia's public transportation and what it has to offer in 2025. I just got off the bus. I rode it from basically the middle of nowhere, and it was still a very good experience. Air-conditioned bus with comfortable seats and good frequencies. I did not have to wait for too long. And I just got off in this neighborhood here. It's close to the central railway station, and you can see the entrance to the metro. You can see other buses going. There's also a tram line here, and there is a train station nearby, and we are about to take the trolley bus. So this means that Sofia offers a lot of different transit options. Not only buses, but also trolley buses, which are running on these wires that I'm showing you on right now. Also, it has different kinds of trams, trains, and the underground subway metro system as well. For a city of this size, it's very impressive, and I'm also very impressed of the service quality and how frequently everything runs and how easy it is to navigate. Even though I don't speak Bulgarian, it's very easy for me to understand where each line goes and use the Google Maps and figure out where I need to go. And usually it's just a matter of a minute or two before I'm on the bus or on the train. And for some reason, I never had to get confused or make any mistakes, get on the wrong bus, get on the wrong train, the way it might happen in some other cities, which means that the system is pretty straightforward and user-friendly, even though it could benefit from additional English translations. Some stops do not have any information in English. Sometimes they do have some information. Also, when you are inside the bus or inside the tram, if you tap your finger on the ticket scanning machine, you might be able to change the language to English, and that might give you some additional information about which stops are coming up and what the final destination is. Also, they have English signs on the metro and some newer trams like this one, the one you can see, but not on the older trams, like the one that you can see in the distance. I'm gonna zoom it in a little bit. Those trams are super fun to ride, but most of them do not have any information in English, so it might be a little bit more challenging to figure out if you are riding the right tram or if you are on the right line, or maybe it's the wrong tram. But guess what? I still recommend riding them just for fun, because they are vintage transit vehicles that were built a long time ago, and it's our luck and our fortune that we are able to still ride them and enjoy them in 2025. And Sofia is one of the very few cities in the world that still has a lot of these trams running. This also applies to some vintage trains, buses, and trolley buses. And to be honest with you, that's the main reason why I came to Sofia in the first place, because I wanted to experience these vehicles, because once they are gone, and nobody knows for how long they're gonna be running. They might retire pretty soon. They are phasing a lot of them out. This is trolley bus number 5 that just arrived, and believe it or not, this is actually our ride. We could board this one, we could wait for the next one. I'll choose to go with this one. It has a lot of empty space, but the next one is coming in just in 5 minutes. In order to pay, you just tap your card, and that's it, and you are good to go. tried changing the language to English, and it did work on these newer trolleybuses, which is great. But I see similar machines installed on almost all transit vehicles, so actually you can still use it on almost all kinds of transit vehicles. Just change the language to English and then you can see where it's going. And you can compare that with your information on Google Maps or whichever app you're using for navigation. Riding a newer Solaris trolleybus. Pretty comfortable, right? No complaints. Lots of space, and as I mentioned earlier, 5-minute frequency on this line. And oftentimes there are multiple lines that are good to reach your destination because it's not a very big city, so you have lots of different options which line to take. So if the frequency on this specific line is 5 minutes, it means that in reality, if there are multiple lines that work for you, you don't have to wait at all, which is very convenient. That's why a lot of people don't need to have a car here. If you're coming to Sofia, you don't need to have a car. You don't need to rent a car. You can just use public transportation. It's very easy and convenient and cheap too. Of pricing, it costs less than $1 per ride. Depending on whether you ride for 30 minutes or 60 minutes, it might be a little bit less than $1 or about $1. And for $2, you can ride as much as you want for the entire day. The cap is applied automatically as long as you keep using that same credit or debit card. You tap it. Once you tap it 2 or 3 times, then it stops charging you for the day. And the cap is about $2 and some change. I love these articulated trolleybuses. They have a lot of seats, a lot of space, so that everyone can feel comfortable. I really enjoy them a lot. And they they have all kinds of different buses and trolleybuses that are 18 meters long, which it means they have a lot of space. As I was saying earlier, I appreciate them buying these specific type of buses. One thing that sucks a little bit is the fact that oftentimes trolley buses and buses and trams, they have to share the space with cars, or even if they have their own lanes, they still have to wait at the traffic lights. They do not have signal priority for transit vehicles. Transit vehicles have to wait as long as all the other cars. This is definitely an improvement they could make if they wanted to. Maybe they will at some point in the future. An older Tatra tram, I believe it's T6A5 if I'm not mistaken, that's about to pass the intersection. I'm not sure if it's going to be the tram or it's going to be us who goes first, but those trams are pretty fun to ride. I rode them a lot over the last few days. It was super fun. Most of the stops, they also have digital information signs, so you can see exactly what time your bus or your trolley bus is about to arrive. Usually it's just a few minutes, but in case it's Sunday, I noticed on Sundays the frequencies are not as high. You can have that information available for you at almost every bus stop. You don't need to worry. You can just take a look and you will know when it's gonna get there, and it's pretty accurate. bus or the tram or the trolleybus, all you have to do is just press this button. That's going to indicate to the driver that it's time to stop at the next stop. As you can see, that was a pretty comfortable ride, also pretty fast. And let's take a look at the stop and see what it has to offer, what information is available here. First of all, we can see over here the different lines that are stopping at this location. And you can see for each line, it's highlighted in red where we are at. And you can see that it's going in this direction, and from now on, from here, it's gonna stop at all of these stops, and this will be the final stop. And for this line, you can see it's already past these stops. Now we are at this stop, and it's gonna keep going and cover all of these stops until this one. I wish they had this information in English. If they did, it would certainly help. Because everything is in Bulgarian, so it's kind of hard to know if you're not in English, if you don't understand Bulgarian letters. For me, it's a little bit easier because I grew up in Ukraine and we have similar letters. But if you don't understand these letters, it may be challenging. That is definitely one thing they could improve. But you can use Google Maps or other apps that can give you the information in English, and then you can just take a look over here. It says line number 5 is coming in 8 minutes, and if you wait long enough, it's gonna change to another line, and it's gonna tell you, okay, line number 7 is coming in 9 minutes. And let's see what else is coming. Number 260 is coming in 13 minutes. What else? And number 1 is coming right now. 0 means it's coming right now. Let's see, is something coming right now? Based on my experience riding it for the last several days, it's been pretty accurate. I don't have any complaints about it. I think they did a great job. Right now it looks like the rush hour is over. It's kind of evening time, and because of that the frequencies are a little bit lower, but still every line runs for the most part every 10 minutes or less. And yes, we did see on the stop it was indicated that number 1 is coming right now, and this is that number 1 that is coming right now. Well, it's not exactly right now, it's maybe a minute later, but it's fine, it's just 1 minute. And you can see this is also one of these newer trolley buses, similar to what we just took. But this one is, I believe it's a Skoda, and the one we took was Solaris, but they were pretty similar. This specific sign has information in English, but unfortunately this is not a stop. So they could definitely improve things by adding more information in English. That would definitely be something that I hope they can look into in the future, because I think it's a great city and it has a lot to offer for tourists and visitors. It's a little bit underrated, it's a little bit overlooked. So I hope that they work a little bit on it and make it a little bit easier for people to get around by offering English destinations, English translations. As you can see, this tram did not have any information in English at all. How about this one? Also, you can only see the line number, but you cannot see the destination information in English. But as far as frequencies and reliability, I think it's very good. It's close to excellent. A lot of lines run every 5 minutes. It depends on the hours, but generally the service is very frequent. Another thing I wanted to point out is the distance between stops. For the most part, there are some exceptions, but for the most part, the distance between stops is not too short. And this is a big issue in a lot of cities. For example, in San Diego, where I live most of the time, the bus stops are located basically at every block or every 2 blocks, and the blocks are very small. So most of the time it's only 0.2 miles apart, which means if you are in between 2 bus stops, exactly in the middle between 2 bus stops, it takes only a minute or 2 to walk to it, which is a little bit too short, because this means that every bus has to stop a lot, and it dramatically slows down the average bus speed, because buses have to stop every 2 blocks. Here in Sofia, I don't know where this idea comes from. Maybe it's still from Soviet Union, but this is one of the great ideas, is to make people walk a little bit more. It's not a lot, it's just a couple extra minutes, but this basically gets rid of those stops that are too close to each other, and then you just walk, maybe instead of walking 1 or 2 minutes, you walk 3 or 4 minutes, but this dramatically improves the average bus speed or trolley bus speed, because it's a lot faster, a lot easier to get to where you're going, because it doesn't have to stop so often. So I think they did a great job about this, and combined with high frequencies most of the time, I believe their service is very good. They also have some bike lanes, which is great. And in general, Sofia has a lot to offer, as I was saying before. Feel free to check out my other videos on YouTube about things to do and places to visit in Sofia, as well as vintage transit vehicles that it offers. I did ride a lot of old school buses and trains and trams in Sofia and in Bulgaria. I highly recommend checking that out, and if you have a chance to travel to Bulgaria, I recommend doing that as soon as possible, so that you have a chance to enjoy these old school transit vehicles before they are completely gone, because before you know it, soon enough all the buses and trolleybuses are going to be like this, and the old ones will be gone. And I really appreciate that feeling of nostalgia and feeling of experiencing the history, going back in time, that Sofia offers in 2025. I don't know if it's still going to be the case in the future. With that being said, I would give a pretty high score to Sofia's public transportation system. It's very convenient, frequent, the hours are great, the routes are very long, and it's usually you don't have to transfer that much, and if you do, you don't have to wait that much. So I really appreciate everything. The 2 little things that I think they could improve is translating all the information to English, and also maybe adding some transit signal priority, so that trolleybuses and trams don't have to wait in traffic together with all the cars. With that being said, I would like to remind you that at the end of my trip, at the end of my stay in Sofia, Bulgaria, I'll be recording my final verdict video, comparing it with other cities and countries to help you decide if you should visit, while also saving you lots of time and money with practical tips on how to get the most out of your trip. This will be an exclusive video, but you can easily gain access to it by subscribing or donating any amount on buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad, or using the link in the video description below. Thank you everyone for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.